bricks out the CT, stuff them in the TVs, Amazon ship it, we catalog get it, fitted 200 on 10 for 200, used to bench a few hundred, not a tech or do numbers, summers in trenches, made 100 on the benches, keep metal like wrenches, and send them like a message, left it's bound A with a grip of that yay, play.
Hey yo, if you a rapper out there or producer and you want to collab, text this number. You heard, if you need promo on the channel for your brand, your business, whatever it is you pushing, text this number.
You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely tell you, I've been in mostly all the maxes, you know what I'm saying, in New York State. Mostly all of them. A lot of them I couldn't go to because dudes had separations with me and stuff like that. But Franklin was like the toughest jail I've been in. Like out of all the maxes and all that, except for Attica, but Franklin was hard, man. I'm thinking the medium gonna be like, you know, like a walk in the park. You know what I mean? So I've been in the medium before that, but you know, it's been like a long time. So when I get there, it's just like a whole different ball game. It's like the whole vibe is just crazy. It's like a lot of things going on. Definitely. At this time, what it was like 2015, no, 2014, there was a lot of adolescents there, and they was just running wild, just shooting shit, left and right. And they put me in the wildest dome. They put me, I think I went to L2. I was in L2. Put me in L2, which is all the way in the back. And the first night I was in there, this dude got cut. I mean, we call it. You know what I'm saying? You say, you know, a dude got shot, you know what I mean? And they basically, what they used to do is they come up in there mad deep, you cut the lights on, make everybody stand up, lift your shirt up, show your hands and all that. And they did that, and about like 10, 15 minutes later, they came and snatched me up. They snatched me up. Took me to the sergeant office and all that, surrounded me, talking about where's the weapon. I'm like, what are you talking about? Where's the weapon? What do you mean? They're like, yo, we know this is your jacket. We know you did this. You just came from Clinton. Yo, where's the weapon? We know you cut him. I'm like, I didn't cut nobody. What are you talking about? Like, so then all of a sudden, they let me off. They let me back out because they didn't really have no proof. The dude that got cut, he didn't say that I cut him or whatever. So just from that point on, it just was like, that was like an ongoing thing for me because of my track record. Like from the past, you know what I mean? Like I had a history of, you know, shootings and stuff like that on my jacket. So every time something like that happened, they would snatch me up, blame me for it, wind up getting off after 72 hours, whatever, stuff like that. And then, you know, after a while, it's like, you know, I hate to admit it, I became part of the problem, like instead of the solution. You know what I mean? Things just got crazy. Franklin at that time, I mean, if people do their homework, I think that was basically like they were saying the most violent prison in New York State at the time, as far as mediums go. I think even with maxes too.
That's crazy that you said they had a bunch of adolescents there, because when I was in Franklin, I was like the only, it was like 2 adolescents on the whole compound, and I was one of them. You feel me? You said them niggas was like, they was sending adolescents to Franklin? That's crazy. Yeah,
nah, it was a lot. It was, I was surprised because, you know, when you go to the places for maxes, I mean, I had to serve like me. I just did 16, going over there. You know, you hear about a lot of people, a lot of your comrades and people you might know throughout the years going to mediums in that hub. So you're like, yeah, they probably at Franklin. But you did see a couple of dudes, you know what I mean, that from over there. But mostly it was just adolescents, like all the gang members, like you know, all the, you know, Spanish things.
That Franklin shit is kind of like, it's a disciplinary jail. So they send you there when you a fuck up. Like, they like, hey, you want to play around? If you was close to New York and you did some dumb shit, because I was in Washington and shit went down. Niggas slingshotted my shit up to Franklin. Like, all right, you want to play games? Take your ass to Canada now.
Shit, that's somewhat close though. Washington is still far, but it's at least I was in the stock, you know what I mean? So that's where, you know, the stock is right across the street. But that's closer to New York for us, you know what I mean? We from New York, so it's like, but up there, that's like way at the end of the road up there, man.
Or shit, how you stressed out.
Yeah, so I got there. I mean, at first my attitude was like, yo, you know what I mean? Because let's keep it real. Like, at the end of the day, when you go to a medium, that means you've been, you know, you haven't been catching no tickets. You know, you've been, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean you've been an angel, but maybe you moving right, you know what I mean? Or maybe you just really trying to go home.
Yeah, or you getting short, nigga start getting close to his board or his, know what I mean, the end of his shit.
Yeah, of course. So I made it, man. So I'm like, but I ain't gonna lie. When I got there, my first intentions was like, yo, first little thing, I'm out of here, man. I don't want to be in no medium because, you know, like being in cells all those years and just having your own privacy and your own space. It's like when you go on a medium, man, it's a whole different ball game now. You got to share the TV, share the bathroom, share all this shit. Share the refrigerator. Dudes got net bags. You know, dudes is territorial in these mediums, man. And then my mentality, which was, I don't know if, you know, some people might think I was wrong or right. I mean, my mentality is like, yo, who are you? Like, who are you to tell me I can't put my food on the right side of the refrigerator or the left side of the like, you know, so a lot of shit was going on after that. But like I said, eventually, I just became a part of the problem. Like, I was just like, yo, fuck it. You know what I mean? This is where I'm going to be at. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of shit going on, man. But if you remember around that time, you know what I mean? Around that time, it was a big thing over the phones. You know, it was a big thing over the phones because I was in Clinton at the time, but I had left, went down to Sing Sing. I was fighting my case and on the 440 under actual innocence. I came back. It was a big thing. Somebody got killed over the phones in Clinton. So they started making phone lists. Now, this is when the whole phone list thing came in, and people was basically like, they thought it would really help the situation and actually made it harder now for people to even use the phone. Because now people was getting shot for slot time.
How was dudes having slot time on them collect phones though? Like, I don't understand. I heard about that. I heard niggas was getting it on over the collect phones.
Yeah, it go like this, right? It go like this. You know what I mean? It's like, basically, if you think about it, it is dumb because it's collect, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, slot time, you know, people was fighting over slot time. It's like, all right, say for instance, your girl, you can only talk to your girl at 10 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? So 10 o'clock at night would be your slot. You would give from like 10 to 10:30 because now it's a list now. So now you got to sign up at that time. So what the police was doing, they was trying to control it by having a phone list every day at 3 o'clock. You got to sign up for that phone list. Now, at first, people, say for instance, like, because this happened to me after a while, I mean, I had the phones and all that, but let's say I had 8 o'clock, right? Now, a dude would sign up for, a nondescript dude would sign up for 8 o'clock. And it was really nothing you could do about it because he signed up. The police, the COs would watch for that. Like, yo, you try to press him for that time, or they wouldn't let you sign up at a time. But dudes fought that, Greed did whatever and won whatever. Basically saying that if you sign up for the phone first, you can get on any time. So dudes was feeling like the COs was going to protect them, so they signed up for your slot. Your slot was from 8 to 8:30. So now, dude got to go now. Or you could choose to go in the bathroom, shake out, you know what I'm saying, shake out for that slot, and whoever win, get that slot.
You talking about in Franklin or in Clinton?
Oh, in Franklin. In Clinton now, you want to go back to Clinton. Clinton was the same way. It just was a list. You come out there, you give the COs your ID. You know what I'm saying? They take your ID, the first 15 IDs, you line up on the line, they call you, but they do it by groups. You come out to the yard, group 1, you know what I'm saying, group 2, group 3. By the time it get to group 4, because there's so much shit going on in Clinton, it basically went up to group 6, but it never really got to group 4. So you had to be, like, if your house was last, you dead on the phone. You're not even going to use the phone because some shit gonna happen by the time it reaches to group 3 or group 6. You're gonna be on the floor, on the ice or whatever, or on the dirt for hours because some shit jumped off. And that was every day in Clinton. It wasn't like no days off. You know what I mean? So I used to try to get out to the yard first, if anything, but if I couldn't, then I couldn't get on the phone. You know what I mean? But that's how they did the slot thing.
So niggas was in Franklin shaking out for to be able to sign a list and put their name in that slot?
Definitely. It was more, yeah, that's what it was about. But it was more so, you want 8 o'clock, you could do two things, you know what I'm saying? You could fight me for it, you know what I mean? Or you could go on this phone at this time. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, anything after 7, like, or anything before 7 was like free for all. But it seemed like all the major players, like all the slots from 7 to 10:30.
Yes, that's how it is on. That's how it was on the island.
Yeah, it's taken. You know what I'm saying? Like, so dudes will come there, dudes will come to the dome. Yeah, dudes will pull up and be like, yo, who got the phone? See, it never was really a situation, even though behind the scenes it was people that, it was like, you know, like I was one of them that had the phone. But at the end of the day, I was doing it on some real, you know, on some real shit. Like, yo, listen, what time you need to call your peoples? Like, all right, I'm gonna talk to son. He got it at 9. I'm gonna try to give him my shit at 10:30 so you could call your peoples at 7:30. You know, it's like try to diffuse anything from happening. But sometimes it didn't work like that. Sometimes people was like, yo, nah, I'm not giving it up. You know, or sometimes dudes had to you know, had to go behind the phone. But that's just the shit that was going on in the media, man. Frankly, it was weird, but
that's crazy.
It was lit. Like,
now, was that going it down like that in all the mediums at that time, or was that just some Franklin shit?
Not with all the mediums, but I know in Ben Hill they had a big problem with that over there. Franklin, you know what I'm saying? Adirondack, I doubt it, because that's like a chill spot, you know what I'm saying? You got Altona, you know what I mean? Like them spots was like chill spots, like dudes is really chilling in them joints. But like in Franklin, Bear Hill, it's wild, you know what I'm saying? Like dudes is getting laid out for the phone, you know what I'm saying? Like one time and shit, you know what I mean? In this situation, we was in C1. In this situation, it was 2 phones. You know, 2 phones in the dorm and shit. But really, both phones was like, you know, I could get on them anytime I want type phone. But it was a particular day that I used to always get on the phone at a certain time. But I gave it to my man, to my little man. I'm like, yo, call your peoples, enjoy, you know what I'm saying? Talk as long as you want. Just do your thing. So he on the phone. So this dude named Mac. I forgot where he's from upstate somewhere. He winds up doing some sneaky shit on the phone list. Now you're talking about lists. He do some sneaky shit on the phone list. He erased my little man's name and his bed number and puts another dude's name and bed number there, and that dude gets on the phone. So now my little man is like, yo, he's like, yo, Critter, yo, what's up? The dude's on the phone. I'm like, yo, I go tell son. I try to be diplomatic about it. I'm like, yo, my little man's supposed to get on the phone right now. Rock out this clip, but the next clip, let him rock, all right? So I get you back on the phone later. So he like, what? Yo, Mac said I can get on the phone. So I'm like, yo, who is Mac? Like, Mac just came here. Like, he don't even have no clout in his dorm. So, you know what I mean? Like, Mac was a new dude. He came from another dorm on some shaky shit. So, boom. So now I'm like, I go press Mac. You know, the laundry room was like the conference room, like. So I go press Mac in the laundry room. I'm like, yo, bro, what's up? You told son to get on the phone? He like, yo, I signed up for the list. I signed him up for the list. I said, you signed him up for the list? This is how I find out that he did that. He wouldn't even admit that what he did. He did some sucker shit. So I went to the CO. Boom, I grabbed the list and looked at the list. I know I signed him up for that. He erased my shit and put his shit there. So now I'm like, yo, you gonna do 2 things, right? You gonna tell your man to get off the phone. You know what I'm saying? You gonna tell your man to get off the phone, or you gonna give my man your slot tonight. You know what I mean? So he like, I ain't giving him my slot. So I'm like, all right. So I go tell his man, yo, get off the phone. So he gets off the phone, whatever. So now I take him in the dorm, I'm talking to him, trying to be diplomatic with son and all that. I'm like, yo, listen, from now on, I don't care. Nobody don't get on that phone no more. So some big country dude, you know what I'm saying? I don't know where he's from, whatever. So he talking crazy. So I'm like, yo, I just said what I said. Don't get on the phone no more, whatever. So he like, yo, Mac tell me to get on the phone. I'm going to get on the phone. So I just like lost it. I just gripped him. You know what I'm saying? I gripped him. And at the same time, I mean, back then, we had the, we had the ceramic joints. You know what I mean? So the ceramic joint flipped out.
You said niggas had the ceramic bangers?
Yeah, basically, yeah, that thing came flying out, and I grabbed son, and I was going to let him have it. Then my son, Babyface Savage, you know what I'm saying, like jumped in the way. It was like, yo, chill, bro. So I'm seeing red. I'm like, yo, what? I'm like, yo. So I'm trying to get at son. Then I see Mac, and I just go at him, but he run. You know what I'm saying? He run, whatever. He wound up getting dealt with like the next day, very next day on some other shit. Like somebody dealt with him on some other shit. Like I couldn't get to him at that point in time. You know, we in the dorm, so if you trying to get caught, you going to just go kamikaze. But I wasn't trying to get caught, so I let him live. But the next day he was out of there anyway. You know what I mean, then he wound up coming back when I left because he told him this is another story. You know what I'm saying? But son was a bozo. But long story short, that's the type of shit that be happening over the phones. Like, you know, like dudes doing all types of shit. I even seen dudes join gangs just so they can get on the phone. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you was nobody, you wasn't calling your peoples like that. Unless it was somebody like me that was strong, that used to put you on the phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I never was on that, like depriving people from using the phone. Like I never was on that.
Well, who else you remember that was in Franklin at that time with you? It was other niggas there from Yonkers too?
Yeah, it was a couple people. It was a couple people from my hood there, man. But mostly, you know what I mean? Mostly, like I remember, like, you know, dudes from other places. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes from like my man Bezo. You know what I'm saying? My man Bezo from Eat Wall. My son Mi. You know what I'm saying? It was so long ago, man. But it was some official dudes there, especially when I first got there in my dorm, because it was like most of us already had mad time and over a decade in. You know what I'm saying? Not most of us, but it was maybe 10 of us there. You know what I mean? And we just had a little close knit. You know what I'm saying? We kept our own, and that's how it was, man. But Franklin was crazy, man. Like, yo, and it was like we ain't even get into how the officers was on it. Like they was on some bullshit, man. Like they was on some bullshit.
Them niggas was bodying niggas in that box back in the days. 16th Street.
Yeah, I've been to that box twice, man. Over one time over a shooting that I didn't do. Son kept it official. I forgot. Son named Face. His name is Face from Buffalo and shit. They did him dirty, man. But they wound up picking me out once again, cause me and this some funny shit. Me and my little man Lil Chewy, we playing this shit, playing with plastic knives, and he fucks around and cut me in my arm with the plastic knives. So you know when somebody get cut, they come in the dorm and they check your body.
Mm-hmm.
They checked my body. I had a slice on my arm. They went crazy, grabbed me up, looked up my name, seen in my jacket that's the shit that I do or used to do. So they take me to the box, but son kept it real. Was like, yo, nah, he didn't do that. It wasn't him. So they let me out. You know what I mean? But the second time I went to the coop, you know what I mean? I ain't eat for 7 days, bro. They starved me for 4 days straight. Like that shit, you right. That shit is like, it's crazy in there, man.
They was doing that shit like, back in the days. They was doing that shit to niggas. It wasn't feeding niggas for a week, man. Niggas come out the box fucked up.
Yeah, they starved me, man. Like, you know, I got lucky, man. Like, it was this dude named Matt. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Matt. White kid named Matt from upstate and shit. Matter of fact, he just hit me up the other day, too. Me and him, at first, when I first got there, me and him was at odds. He was arguing and all, the gate banging. And
what? In the box?
Yeah, in the box.
Shit, when I them niggas they was tolerating that shit, like letting niggas argue in the box and all of that now?
Well, nah, not really. Like, see, I'm pretty sure you've been in the cat box, right? You've been in the cat box before, you know?
Nah,
right, well,
I was in Washington box.
Yeah, most of them small boxes, though, you can't talk. You can't look up. Like, it's real, like, degrading, you know what I'm saying? But in there, they let you talk a little bit. But if you get loud, they gonna come shut you down. They gonna put a fan in front of your door, you know what I'm saying? Or go outside with the fan, open your window and blow the fan in through the window. You know what I mean? You know, it'd be cold up there. They're gonna turn your heat off, all types of sucker shit. You know what I mean? Don't feed you like they did me. No showers, none of that. You know? Yeah, because them small boxes, they get away with a lot of shit because it's not a lot of cameras down there. You know what I mean?
And you said
But
you
then
was beefing with Son on the Gate at first?
Yeah, I was beefing with Son on the Gate because he kept banging on my wall. And I was tight because I just went to the coop. I'm tight. Like I was about to get my horticulture, what's that shit? Apprenticeship, all that shit.
Yo, I was in fucking horticulture in Franklin. I know that nigga Mr. Leary wasn't still in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Nah, son, don't tell me that nigga still in. What?
Mr. Leary, he taught me, man.
Yo, that's my son. That nigga Larry is my son, my nigga. Like, that's the best fucking program in the whole jail, nigga.
Yeah, nah, he's still there. I think he's in the program committee now, some shit like that though. Like he stopped doing it after like I got jammed up in that shit. But
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that nigga Larry is still there. Nigga named Tim Leary. Tim Leary, man. That nigga, that's crazy, son. That nigga is still there.
Like, that was like what? You said you was there what, 99?
Nah, I was in Franklin in fucking 9, 4, and 5.
Ooh, that's damn near 20-something years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That nigga's still there. Dude, niggas was that strip in Franklin, where you walk to horticulture, where they call programs in the morning. Niggas was still using that shit to get it on.
Yeah, yo, it's definitely, or they like creating walls, like when you go down the walkway, like you know they like by the damn, what building is that? Damn building. I always get these buildings mixed up because I've been to so many spots, you know, all the building 12, building 24. Mm-hmm. It's the building when you coming down the walkway across from like G Dorm and all that. Like right there is a good spot. But they put a booth right there now though, so you know what I mean? Sometimes the pigs don't be in the booth. You know what I mean? They don't be in there. But
yeah, that's crazy though, bro. That's crazy how Franklin changed like that, and adolescence, gang shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, nah, it was crazy, man. I seen all types of shit in there, man. That was an experience for me. You know what I mean? Definitely.
How long it took you before you was adjusted and was like, all right, I'm good here in the medium. I'm used to this shit now.
Shit, I ain't gonna front. Maybe like 8 months. Maybe like 8 months. Cause
niggas be coming from Clinton, bro, and they don't be staying. The average nigga come from Clinton to Franklin, they be like, I ain't staying here, bro. It's too much movement, too much loose, too much loud niggas with 2-3 years. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that shit, I seen a lot of dudes come from Clinton and they ain't last, man. It's like, I can't take this, bro. I'm going back. I need to sell.
Yeah, nah. And you know what I seen too though in Franklin? That was blowing my mind. Official steppers coming from Clinton, like official dudes who I know. I seen them in the battlefield. Come over there and allow themselves to get touched up by a young nigga just coming up, just slipping. I'm like, damn, like how you let that shit happen? Like, you supposed to know the ropes, like you supposed to know what's going on.
You know what's crazy, bro, and this is a reality, man. A max and a medium is two completely different worlds, and some niggas thrive in a max environment and they cannot survive in a medium environment, and some niggas is vice versa, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they get toe up in the max, but they come to the medium and run the whole fucking jail. You understand what I'm saying? It be like that. I've seen niggas come from cat to green, niggas that was hitters, come from, and they came to green with that mentality, like, nigga, I'm coming from the cat. I'm gonna come over here and take this shit. And niggas got 8 the first day. Like, you feel what I'm saying? And they be in shock, like, yo, but I just was in the cat with the realest of the real. And they come there and just get twisted. Day one, you feel what I'm saying? So the shit is a different environment, and some niggas ain't built for that. Why? It's just like dorms and cell houses and like on the island and shit. Some niggas in a cell house, they good, but they can't live in an open dorm. You feel what I'm saying?
That's too much going on for them.
Yeah, man.
They ain't ready for that. You know what I mean? They ain't ready for that. So the shit, you know was another thing I want to throw in there real quick, is that during that time, I witnessed the surge, the uproar of Tunchi. You heard? Like the Tunchi shit came out of nowhere. Like I never seen that in the Maxes. Like I never seen that. Like the K2.
Oh
You know
yeah, I got a story on the channel, man, where a nigga who just came home, he said that shit. I was gonna ask you that, but I ain't know if I should ask you or not. But I heard that shit is taking over, storming the whole New York State prison system.
Oh man, that shit, yo, I seen good dudes, man. Like, you know, people got the dust stories and all that. Like, I done seen some dudes, man, like just lose it, like just literally like go crazy behind that shit. Like, you know what I mean? That shit definitely took over. It's like dudes can't even, like you can have bud, you can't even sell it. Like, dudes don't want that. They want that Tunchi. You know what I'm saying? They want that Tunchi, man. That shit got dudes going, man, up there right now, especially in that spot. That spot right there, it was like, that's like that's where I first seen it at, but that's where, like, I really seen people really on that shit, like, hard. Like, it was serious. I don't know if you knew this dude, he was kind of well known and shit in the state, named Puma Cat. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. They state, you know what I'm saying? Allegedly, he smoked it, you know what I'm saying, and OD'd off it. You know what I'm saying? That was my man, but I don't know. There's a couple other dudes, man, but that OD'd, man, but, you know, I ain't make it back. That was like 2015. Yeah, that was like 2015, like 2014, 15. That's when that shit started really rising. You know what I mean? That's when I noticed. I'm like, oh shit, this is where this is the market now.
That shit is, you know, like I said before, man, you know, that shit is disappointing because it's like, you feel me? I came from an era where, you know, motherfuckers was in jail trying to bring themselves to the highest level of realness they could possibly get to before they return to the streets, you feel me? So it's disappointing to know that niggas is in there, you know, just getting high for psychedelic crazy shit, and like niggas is bugging out with that shit, bro.
Yeah, it's a whole nother world in there, man. Like I definitely, like, you know, being in there at a young age, you know what I'm saying, starting out, you know, my first spot was the Cat. You know what I mean? So, like what you was talking about earlier, how dudes from the Cat went to Green, I already know, because I was there in the 90s, you know what I'm saying, 99. So I know how it was, man. I witnessed, like, the change. Like, everything just year by year by year, things just changing for the worse. You know what I mean? Like, everything just changing. So, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna lie, though. When I got out of that, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely tell you, I've been in mostly all the Maxes, you know what I'm saying, in New York State. Mostly all of them. So a lot of them I couldn't go to because dudes had separations with me and stuff like that. But Franklin was like the toughest jail I've been in. Like, out of all the Maxes and all that, except for Attica. But Franklin was hard, man.
That's crazy, bro.
In every way. I'm talking about every way, as far as like coping with the officers, you know what I'm saying? Just being tough, you know what I'm saying? Like, dudes just, you gotta really be hands-on in that spot.
How long you was in there for?
So I was in Franklin for like 4 years, I believe. Maybe a little bit over 4 years.
That's a long time. I seen a lot of crazy shit go down in Franklin. I got stories on the page. I seen a lot of crazy shit go down in Franklin myself. But that shit wasn't jumping crazy like Green and shit like that. Like, Franklin was a more adult, laid back jail, but niggas was getting banged the fuck up in there on a regular basis too, though.
Yeah, that's how I always heard about that spot. You know what I mean? It's being a spot where, you know, the people that got time and they go there. A lot of lifers and shit like that is there, and they about to go home. But when you get there, you see it ain't. You know what I mean? When I got there, it was nothing but young dudes wilding. But the good thing is that I was always able to connect with the youth. You know what I'm saying? To connect with them in a way of, you know, through my music, or also just through, you know, through my background, through my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, people looked up to me. So at the same time, like I said, I'm not no angel. I kind of contributed to a lot of shit that was going on in there, but I kind of contributed to a lot of positivity that was going on in there too. Stopped a lot of stuff from going down and all that. You know what I mean? But the young dudes, man, you know how they go. They just going, especially if they banging. I can't really tell them nothing because I ain't their OG. You know what I mean?
It was gang wars popping off in Franklin.
Yeah. Like the most. I would say, you know, I was there for the Batya blood war. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was basically them two always going at it. You know what I'm saying? They always would go at it.
Who was in control? Who was in control of the spot at the time?
Well, I would say it was more homies. It was more homies than them. Basically, they kind of outnumbered them. You know what I mean? But they both did their thing. You know what I mean? Like, as far as who won, we never win anyway when we go against each other. But how it looked crazy. But that's about it though. And you really, you know, wasn't no gang wars, wasn't no crip wars. Everybody was basically like chilling, like not chilling, but like not going at each other. You know what I mean? Dudes are just doing what they do. But it always was like a lot of that shit was always jumping off over the phones, like petty shit, like, you know, phones.
So it started being black phones, and Spanish niggas phones, or gang phones, and all of that again.
Yeah, it was mixed up. It was mixed. You know what I'm saying? Like you like I was in a dorm, like I was an N1. I was an N1 and shit, and it's because all my mans was Batya. You know what I'm saying? Like all the niggas I fuck with at the time. You know what I mean? But I had some homie friends, whatever. You know what I'm saying? A couple lokes, shit like that. But it's like what happened was, you know how it's always one person to come and just restructure the whole shit. So one person came on the homie side and like got on some bullshit with the phones with the Spanish brothers, and then the Spanish brothers said, you know what, we gonna take this phone. So they took the phone, the homies took the other phone. It was a fight, another fight, this back and forth domino effect thing, and then it just became, this phone is this phone is your phone. You know what I mean? That's how that shit really be happening. But yeah, it was definitely like that. That shit was like snowball effect on like every dorm. You know what I mean? Spanish phone, black phone. You know what I mean? Or it was some dorms that just, you know, true phone, gang, you know what I mean? Gang phone, like shit like that.
What about the phones in the yard?
Same shit. That's the shit that killed me. This was the shit. You know, I used to be like, I never had that problem. I get on any phone. You know what I mean? I get on any phone. But dudes was really doing that in the yard. Just like 6 phones in the yard. You know what I'm saying? You had. I mean, but I can't act like it's something new, because we was doing that shit in the cat. In certain spots, we was doing that same shit like that. Like certain phones was the Brooklyn phone, 718 phone, 914 phone, Buffalo, whatever. Neutral phone, Blood phone, Latin King phone. So yeah, that shit was going on in Franklin like crazy. You know what I mean? But I ain't giving a fuck. I'm getting on any phone. You know what I'm saying? Like that, no tough guy shit. But getting on any phone because everybody like me. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's how that shit was.
Yeah. I mean, when I was up top, I wasn't a big phone nigga anyway. Like, I'm not, them shits is expensive as a motherfucker, them collect calls. So I wasn't thrashing niggas lines out like that. You feel me? I just wait for my visits and shit like that. So I hated them motherfucking collect phones. I used them maybe once in a while. You feel what I'm saying? But it's crazy that it must be a new system or something that, you know, that shit probably more affordable than it was back in the days.
Yeah, nah, definitely. It's only like, it went down. Spencer had did some shit, dropped it down, whatever. But then when he left, they got you know, because they went to mad different companies. They Global Tel, Securus, and all this different. But they're more affordable now. It's probably like a click is like $3 now. You know what I mean? 30 minutes. But now, from what I'm hearing, because I'm definitely still in contact with people behind the wall and in prison, and when they call, now they giving out free calls, free 15-minute calls.
Yeah, on the weekends, I think. My man be calling me. Yeah, my bro be calling me.
But I'm hearing that the clicks is shorter now. It's not 30 minutes.
Yo, but that Securus shit is bogus, bro. Like, I made an account. Every time my man try to call me, he'd be like, yo, you don't have an account. And then when I click whatever the fuck I click, he'd be like, oh, you do have an account with money in it. And by that time, the nigga done hung up. Like, they system is fucked up. You feel what I'm saying? Like, thankfully, JPay is on deck. You feel what I'm saying? But,
No doubt.
bro, you know how much a click was when I was up north? $40, my nigga.
Yo, that's crazy.
A call, like the average phone call, that shit was 40 cash, my nigga. So niggas wasn't fucking with them phones at all.
Yeah, nah, I was like that when I first came out too, but I don't think it was that much. I think it was probably like maybe $16, like $16, $20, something like that, like 99.
That shit was highway robbery back in the day. I'm talking about 93, 94, 95. That shit was highway robbery, so nobody fucked with them shits. But them low ass rates, you talking about $3 a click? That's why niggas is claiming phones, bro.
Yeah, nah, it got crazy, man. I'm telling you, it got crazy with this phone shit. You know what I'm saying? I seen mad shit go down over that phone, man. I'm like, yo, but I'm blessed, man. I never really, you know what I mean, had a problem for the phone. Like, I had problems over it, but I always maintained it. You know what I'm saying? I always maintained my slot. My thing was, you know what I mean, as long as I got my slot, you know what I'm saying, like you don't get in my way from getting on my slot, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, because usually I'd be like the one there in the morning time anyway, so. But like I said, I was always the link to dudes getting on the phone anyway. Like, if you couldn't get on the phone at night, I try to squeeze you in the morning or the afternoon. But shit like that is crazy. Like, I hate that I had to even do that. But
in Clinton is a motherfucking it's a 914 court.
Yeah. As far as weights, you talking about weight court or as far as food court?
Like the food court shits.
Oh yeah, we had like 3 courts. I had one. My other man had one and shit. We had courts. We had a couple courts. Spike had a court. I had one up top. Tone had one. There's probably like 4 914 courts. You know what I'm saying? Those is pretty much easy to get. You could buy those off somebody, or somebody could just leave it to you. Put your name on the court. When they leave, they get the court, or you catch it in a raffle. Like, it was a lot of times where they had raffles. I knew the police that used to do the raffles and shit. Like, actually, you know about the shit that happened in Clinton with the escape shit and all that, right? With Palmer, C.O. Palmer.
You talking about the shit they did the movie over?
Yeah. Now, the nigga that got caught up with that, with the C.O. Palmer nigga, he's really like that. Like, I used to go to Palmer and be like, yo, Palmer, I got like 5 bricks, what's up? And he'd be like, I got you. Give me a court. You know what I mean? Like, that's how easy it was to get a court out there. But as far as the weight courts and all that, nah, I used to work out. It was only a Brooklyn court, Brad Hunter court, Long Island, Muslim, Dominican, which was really the Long Island court. Then you had the Italian court. Then you had the West Indian court. I used to work out. I could work out on any court, but I used to work out on the Brooklyn court. I mean, just they the ones that embraced me when I first went there and shit. Like, back in 04. So I constantly kept going back to Clinton anyway. So I used to work out back there with Lele, Jay Black. I don't know if you know these dudes. D-Lo from Queens. You know, a couple other dudes, man. But that's where I used to work out at and shit. That was like my safe haven out there in the yard. I wasn't on the court.